Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending our Client Success Training webinar today, hosted by LEAP's Client Success team. At our webinar today, we are joined by Marissa Muthalingam from MJ Squared. Whether you're already a LawY or MatterAI expert or would like to learn more about the functionalities, this webinar will show you strategies and features to maximize efficiency. We welcome you to open your own LEAP and follow along with us during our presentation, as we will give you a bit of time to test on your individual databases. Before we get started, let's go through a couple of initial housekeeping items. Today's training session will run for approximately 45 minutes in listen-only mode. We welcome all participants to enter questions into the chat window as they arise. If we do not answer them during the presentation, we have allocated some time at the end to address them. A recording of the session will be made available after the presentation and will be emailed to all registrants. Please note that all new firms that reach the AI usage target of 5 LawY conversations and 10 plus MatterAI interactions will be entered into a draw for a chance to win one of 5 $100 gift cards. That's a total of $500 in gift cards. Last quarter's winner of $500 was Legate Law. Without further ado, I will pass it on to Marissa.
Thanks, Vanessa. Hello, everybody, and we welcome you to this webinar. As Vanessa had mentioned, there will be some time to ask some questions, and I would love if you could follow along and, where possible, try and input the information into your own LEAP. That would help for your focus and help with the information that you need to attain out of today's session. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen. And what we're going to do is just look through a presentation, but also look inside of LEAP Live itself and demonstrate some questions and review how the tools work. So for today, we're looking at LEAP AI specifically, using 3 different mediums or tools, production tools that's designed and built within the system. So we're looking at, and some of you would be, most if not all of you are familiar with the tools within the system already, if you've attended a training session or implemented at your firm already. Perhaps some of you are simply interested in what the tools are that are available. And this is LawY, which is an AI assisted research tool. Then we'll look at MatterAI, which is built for the Matter specifically, and it's looking for information within the Matter itself. It's looking at the information you've inputted into the Matter. And then we will look at LEAP AI prompts, which is Word and document heavy driven. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen here. And I'm going to switch my camera on and off between the sessions, just to help us focus, or help the screen focus so that my picture is not covering. I just want to confirm, Vanessa, that you are able to see my MJ Squared LEAP screen. It's the presentation.
Sorry, I just muted myself. Yep, I can see it.
Thank you so much. Okay, excellent. So let's get your firm moving. And as I mentioned, we are focused on some productivity tools. And I am from the partner network Sorry, my volume just dropped there. I apologize. I am from the partner network section, and we do help multiple law firms that either love the tool, they're afraid of using the tool, they just want to see what it does. So today is to perk your interest. If you are a firm, whether you're one user, small user, an enterprise user, wanting to indulge in the tool, and ultimately what you want for your firm is to draw revenue from these tools. That's the aim. And it is not to replace, it is really to add more efficiency and give you time as the company or as the lawyer who's doing the work to maybe get more involved or focus more on your strategies, focus more on client relationships, whilst the tool does the job for you or helps the staff that are doing the job for you, right? So we're going to look at these three tools as I mentioned, and we'll focus here on the AI prompts is word generated beside your matter. You give it the instruction, it drafts the first pass, letters, agreements, affidavits, also helps you rewrite and shorten or retone text you already have. So if you're familiar with how prompt systems work, for example, if you're familiar with GPT or Claude Opus, which is part of the leading products right now, you'd be familiar then with how to use AI prompts. And AI prompts allows for us to insert our own questions into the Word document itself and sort of build a library for you. Leap has that library already, and I'm going to switch to Leap very quickly here. So for those of you that are familiar, you will notice the Leap that I'm in the Leap desktop version, and I'm going to access matters in various provinces. As you can see on the far right of the screen, matters belong to Ontario, Alberta, BC, and we'll focus on those. Okay. If you do have any questions along the way, please pop it into the chat. I do think the chat is enabled for us. Vanessa, please correct me if I'm wrong there. Yeah, cool, awesome. Please pop your questions into the chat or any feedback as we go along the way. That will really help with Leap content team as well as ourselves in terms of what we need to look at or focus our attention on further, and we will do our best to get to as many questions as possible. If it is not, then Vanessa and her team involving us or just Leap themselves will respond to you in a timely fashion. Okay. All right, so here we go. I've got Leap open in front of me, and I'm going to pop up a divorce and separation matter. Right up on the top, I've searched already for divorce, and I'm going to open up one of them. So my double click will take me into the Leap productivity mode. It's just opening up. I'm going to pull it across. Here we go. Let's make this a little larger. Okay. If there's any screen popping up on your side from mine and it's distracting, please put that into the chat as well, and I'll do my best to focus the screen relatively. All right, we are now in the details on correspondence area, as we can see on the top left, and MatterAI or Leap AI lives in the section on the top where I'm circling. Those are the tools that we can clearly see. Within the correspondence area as well, we're able to see all documents that are present within the matter. Now, your searching is robust, but it really depends. The information sent out really depends on how much you have present in the matter on MatterAI. So if you've got minimal information and you are asking the question to AI, you perhaps receive as minimal information as you put in. So the more information you have, the easier it becomes for your research. On the left-hand side, you have Matter cards, and it also searches, it pulls information from there as well, very specifically for Matter AI chat. Okay. So if we look at this divorce and separation, perhaps I'm looking for certain information. So what I could do is simply right-click on a document and go to MatterAI new document at the bottom. I could also simply navigate to MatterAI on the top. And once I pop that up, now the more information you have, of course, it's going to have to sift through all of those documents to give you the relevant answers that you're looking for. It is important that you allow it a moment. Be a little patient with it as it's going through all of that information. Please try it on your side as well. So whilst we are waiting, it gives you the valuable opportunity to just attempt it. Back here. There we go. Starting up MatterAI. Let's agree to the terms and conditions and let's get started. This is pretty cool. So it's telling me that it's doing the count, right? So it's counting the documents, it's busy loading it. And whilst it's loading, it's producing some suggestions for me to prompt. 10 documents. So it's going. All right, so I'm going to let that run. Whilst it's running, at the bottom, if you could focus your attention at the bottom, we have options to search either using GPT Instant or Thinking or Claude Sonnet and Opus. I have to tell you that I've tried Opus even for large decks of information that I've required, and it really is a magnificent tool that works through large pieces of information. Now, again, I'm biased. As you work with the tools, you'll discover what's quick and handy for you. So here we go. Let's just push some of these buttons. So what happened on the date of the incident? Who was involved? What documents support this claim? Let's just go with what happened on the date of the incident. So what it's doing is it's actually searching through dates. It is finding the documents to support the questions. It's also providing you with links, which is the answers. And as it goes, at the bottom, you will see the references, right? So it's giving you that information. Now, when you're in here, you have some other tools. You could highlight, take it to the answer. You could also highlight and ask the MatterAI for more information just on this one line. Let's go further down. And as we can see again, so based on the Matter documents currently retrieved, the answer is incident date not expressly identified. Closest relevant date found is December 8, 2021. So rule of thumb is always to trust but verify, right? That's what your expertise are, is to verify the information. I'm going to go back down here. There we go. So there's an option where we could, if we like the response, we could tell the MatterAI that this is good or we don't like the response. This is helpful for the team also that's developing and designing so that they could retrieve further information out of this feedback. And of course, the prompt is learning from you. All right. If we wanted, we could share the response. We could also copy the response and paste it into perhaps a document that we are creating for the client. Or simply, we could just add it into a comment, add a timestamp, and paste the information in. And there we go on to, once this information is verified and you formatted it the way you need it to, you could save this back into the Matter. And if you're familiar with the comment tool in Leap, you are able to notify the persons who are requiring this information. Perhaps you are actually on a telephone call with your client and you want to bill this. So you could save and bill it out at the same time, right? So billable, you can choose your units there. So let's just mark it as save and billable. And here's my incident date. Perhaps I just want to pin that up right up on the top. Okay, that is your MatterAI function, very basic preview of that. I would like to just give the opportunity for maybe any questions that have come in, or whilst those questions are coming in, perhaps you want to take 3 minutes and try MatterAI within your system and offer some feedback to Vanessa and myself. So I'll count that down. It's now 1:22 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll check back up again in 3 minutes. And Vanessa, anything from your side?
Not yet. I do just have a couple of concerns about that with view, but seems like they're fine. But if anyone does have any questions, I am monitoring the chat. I can read them out to Marissa directly and she can answer them for you. So you're welcome to do that. If you're having trouble locating the chat, it should be in the top right. It's a little chat bubble. So it looks like 2 little messaging icons. If you click there, you should be able to send a message to us.
Thank you, Vanessa. So I will give it, we're still on 122. I'll give us until 125. Let's just do some testing on your side and come back with any questions or feedback. Some handy tips whilst you're doing that. Because MatterAI is already built into a legal software, for those of us that are familiar with how prompting works on Claude or GPT or Gemini or any other space, usually you would tell it to act as a lawyer. In this case, we do not need to do that because Leap has built-in intelligence and it knows that it is working the prompt from your seat as a lawyer or assistant, associate partner, etc.
So the first question I have, Marissa, here is, are the questions you've raised in MatterAI for a particular case visible to everybody who has access to that folder? So to answer that question, none of the other users at the firm would have access to your questions. You would specifically have access to your own questions. If you just open up MatterAI for me, Marissa, in the back there, you'll be able to see your chat history on the left of the window. So it will log all of your previous chats. So if you ever do want to go back and kind of ask it a question, again, you'll be able to see them logged on the left. But again, only you will be able to see your own chats.
Excellent. Thank you, Vanessa.
No problem, no problem. Just waiting for a few more questions, but I don't think I have any more.
Okay.
Okay, so we do have how long is a prompt history kept for? I think indefinitely, Sandra. I think you can actually go ahead and delete it by just kind of hovering over the chat, Marissa, if you just want to go over that incident date details. There is a little X there, so you can actually remove it yourself. But I think generally it's there permanently unless you delete it actively yourself.
And there we go. We see the option to delete.
Okay, we have one more question here. How did you get the info from MatterAI into the client file? So generally, the more you put into the Matter, the more AI can extract it. So if there is some documents missing from the Matter itself, it won't pull that information. That has to be added into Leap in order for MatterAI to pick it up.
And to elaborate on that,
sure,
we would need to either import the documents or information by using the right-click option to import. Also on the left, we have the cards and relevant information blocks. This is where we would have to input that information as well. So the assistant or Matter assistant is looking inside Leap only. It is not looking outside into Leap. It's only inside of Leap. I hope that helps the question as well.
Does anyone else have any more questions? I think we're just going to move on to the next portion.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take my lead there, Vanessa, and I'm going to move on. We're then going to go into LawY, and that's the next portion of the tools that's available to us. LawY is a MatterAI research assistant. I love the concept because it is built into my Leap. It keeps the information in a closed loop. That means it is not public. And my information that I share on the chat remains within that environment. So it's not shared publicly. Okay, I want to stress that. It's also governed by the SOC2 ISO GDPR alignments, and that is both international and local. It keeps the research in the matter and part of the record and the bill itself. We can compare jurisdictions, line of authority. So LawY is looking at law. It is looking at case law. It's looking at CanLII, legislation, and it's really helping me to ask the question in plain language. I do not need to input parentheses. I do not need to input any special characters to ask the questions. I can ask it as plainly as I need to be. So I could be fresh from fresh from law school, coming in and opening up, coming into a law practice and helping with research. I do not need to understand the language to use for searching. Okay. This tool can be found right here. I'm going to open up my Matter again. Apologies. There we go. And I do have one last tip on MatterAI that we've concluded, but I will come back to that at the end of the session. It will be remiss of me not to display that. So LawY right here, Research AI LawY. I'm going to allow as admin. So this is an assistant. As I mentioned, what it's actually doing here is helping me with some deep research, just plain language, new chat. I could also verify or send for verification. When I send for verification, that means I'm sending it to an external party that sits on this board of verifications within your province. So this is using external counsel, if you wish, to provide and substantiate the question, the information based on the question you've asked. I'm just going to pause for a second there and give you a moment, just think about that. So I am sending information to external counsel. It remains within my LEAP, and there is no shared information, meaning these parties on my matter, example, Benny Philippe, the external party that I'm sharing the question with has no knowledge of any of these parties, has no case-related information. So they're doing research for me and sending back a response. The beauty is I have the ability here to produce the work without having to hire additional staff. I'm able to get the answers within a day to 2 days. And Vanessa, correct me if that timeline is the same or it has changed. So, yeah, awesome. So I just have to wait for that response time, a response on the matter. So let's see if I have a question that I could use here. Example, if I am just starting off, it's filtering through web sources, it's thinking, it's generating a response, it's looking at Ontario family law, and it's giving me all of the steps required. Now, your expertise is to know the answer here already. But if you, for example, had a lead and the client was on the phone and they needed information from you and you were doing a quick initial consultation and you wanted to give them the answer based on current rules and regulations, you simply wanting to guide your client along, you could quickly come into this tool, ask the question, and really regurgitate it, but you would need to verify, right? So as your profession is to verify every answer that you receive. The beauty here is that it's done the hard work for you, and it's done it within not even 2 minutes. So here's my answer. What I could now do is, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. As I mentioned before on MatterAI, you have the same functionality. You can view the sources. If you click on it, it tells you the sources that it came from, which is really handy and helpful so that you can go back to verify that, right? You can ask AI further questions, and it's also suggesting, based on what the prompt provided, it's also suggesting some other questions for you, right? If this is good and all hunky-dory, you could simply copy the clipboard and paste it into a letter that needs to go to your client, or you paste it into an email, just depends what you're wanting to do. All right, from there, again, it's now helped me generate information for a lead that has come in. I was able to quickly go through the notions of getting the information, skim through it, make sure it's all good, and then pass it off to my client and bill for it. Now I know that I'm making that sound very simple and easy. Really, it is. So if you are in between whether you're wanting to use this tool or not, give it a try. Give it a 30-day cycle, maybe. Check out how many cases you were able to answer, maybe in the last quarter, without any of this assistance, and then verse it to the cases you were able to answer using this assistant. Do the math and then roll out what you would like to implement at the firm over the next 30 days. So I'm just giving you some tips and tricks to help you with making a decision if you are in between whether we should use LawY or not. And of course, once I'm happy here, I could just copy the message or just copy message with details. I'm going to give us a quick pause again and just ask if there's any questions here. As well, if you could take, should we say, Vanessa, maybe another 3 more minutes or 5 to try it out in our own leap?
Yes, sounds good. We did have a couple questions. I did answer a few in the chats when they were coming through. One of the questions we had was someone was saying that they weren't able to see LawY. I did ask them what province they were in. They were in Newfoundland. So at the moment, it's not available in Newfoundland and in the East Coast. However, you can actually still use LawY. What I do suggest for clients that are in the East Coast, if they do want to kind of experiment with it and test it out, you can open up a test matter in your LEAP database and make sure you're opening up as an Ontario matter. But just keep in mind that because we don't have any legal research out in Newfoundland or in the East Coast at the moment, there will be more federal related questions that you could probably ask versus specific to your province. You can also log in through app.lawY.ai. Once again, that's app.LAWY.ai. If people who are externally outside of the larger provinces, like Ontario, BC, Manitoba, you can use it from there. So I'm just double checking here. Is there a limit on how many times I can ask for verifications in a month? No, there is not a limit. So you can ask them as many as you'd like, and you would have track of those in the verifications tab at the bottom left. So they would all be there. So we do have a couple questions mentioning that they are trying to open up some LawY related questions through their matters, but they're defaulting to Ontario when this user is specifically in BC. So the way we can get around that specifically is by going into new. So if Marissa, you just want to click on the new, and then just go to a new matter. So if you don't want to open up a matter specifically in your LEAP account, but you want to use LawY, this would be a way to do that through here. So what you can do is you can go to select region, and then we're going to pick Canada, of course. And then we're going to pick our province specifically here. So in this case, we're going to do British Columbia because this client is in British Columbia that's asking the question. And it's going to give you a reference number. So you can go ahead and create matter. Keep in mind that this is not going to make a matter directly in your actual LEAP database. It's going to specifically only create it in LawY. So it's going to ask you for the matter type as well. So I know this user was trying to open one in divorce and separation, if I'm not mistaken. And if you hit create matter, you'll then notice it'll say ask anything about divorce and separation in BC. So now you've got a whole new matter that isn't actually even related to anything in LEAP. So say, for example, you don't want to open up a matter, but you want to research something, you can do it this way as well. No problem, Alex.
That's beautiful, Vanessa.
Okay, I'm just checking. I think there was another one. So documents to your reference must be saved in a file for MatterAI. So there's a couple of questions here. Okay, let's see. So there was a question about transferring research over from one LawY matter to the other. So we don't currently have an internal button that transfers questions that you've asked from one matter to another. What you can do is just copy that piece of information and then you can paste it into the other matter. Unfortunately, there's no way to kind of merge it over to another one or move that answer over. So if anyone does have any other questions, just feel free to enter them in the chat. I think we're almost at our 3-minute mark, or we passed it, but
okay.
If you want to go ahead and take the wheel, Marissa.
Awesome. Excellent. So before we move away from LawY, you do have the ability to change this app to be billable by default. For those of you that do want to keep track of the billable work via these apps, you're absolutely able to do so by just clicking yes. Again, I'm prompting and promoting for billable streams of work, right? Okay. And before we went into LawY, I had circled to wanting to display the MatterAI statement, which Vanessa here. Oh, I see it here. Sorry, my screen was just blocking. The Matter summary is a powerful tool where I'm able to display matter, including cards and it accesses the matter, including cards and persons, and it reads the firm data. What it's going to do is pass through all the information within the matter, and it's going to give me a summary. It could be a report for you, and this should maybe even form part of your weekly or regular meetings internally when you're looking at matters and wanting to attain where the matter is, what is the status, when are we meeting clients. So it helps you with your reporting structures. So it's just retrieving information. It's looking at the calendar and tasks. It's looking at your correspondence. Please give that a try on your system. And if you've got any questions there, please raise it. Okay, so it's looking at, it's given us the purpose. It's working through the plan. It's dispatching. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have one question. So I do have a question here that says, is it possible to move the matter summary tab to the first tab instead of the last? Unfortunately, not at this time. It is added there at the very top, and we can't move it at the moment, unfortunately.
So it's searching, it's retrieving. As I mentioned at the beginning of our webinar bootcamp, that the more information you have, the longer or the more time it needs to research. And we can appreciate that. If we had hundreds of documents or hundreds of pages to review, we would definitely need a team of members to sit around the table and focus on it. Whereas we could give the matter summary, in this case, probably a couple of minutes to summarize and get that information for us. Sometimes what could take days just simply allows for the matter summary to just take less than 2 days to give us that information back. And we don't have 2 days here today. But as we can see, the tool is working for us. It's browsing the directory now. Perhaps maybe it's finished. Oh, it's still going. Let's go higher up. Okay. So as we can see, I started the search 2 minutes ago, right? And it's passed through so much data already. As you work through the matter and input additional information, you can always refresh to get the latest information. Again, this is really helpful. Either you're sitting at court and you need to get matter summary, you're needing to meet with your team to look through a string of matters to attain statuses. Maybe you're even on a call or you in a discovery call with your client and you need to work through this information. So it's really giving you information at the tips of your fingers. You're letting the AI product work for you. I think that is done. Okay. All right, so I think that was the only question we might have had there on the matter summary. I'm going to move along. I'm going now into our last section, which is AI prompts. We are going to concentrate on the forms and precedents section within your matter. To just pull that up for us onto the side here. Sorry. There we go. AI prompt, we would navigate into the browse area of forms and precedents. And by default, the system does open up into the divorce and separation folder. And what we would see is a prompt library. So we see the AI prompt matter summary for family. We also see the AI prompt library divorce and separation. If I go into that folder, we then see a string of prompts that's available and shipped with the product. Now, these prompts, I would open it up, just do a basic motion template. If I double click, it's opening up a Word document, and I'm going to pull that across. Sorry, it's just opening up onto my second screen. I'm just going to make that go here. Okay. What this function is doing is it's working inside Word itself. It has an enabled section on the right, which is MatterAI for Word. It helps us with analyzing. It helps us to ask questions, so it's still just busy there. Let's pull it here. Okay, so it's busy, and now it's worked through the matter, and it's giving me information without me having to ask it anything. So the tool here, just give me, there we go. Okay. The tool here on the right, I've just highlighted what it's actually displaying. So before generating the affidavit, two matters require your confirmation as the file does not resolve them. It's giving us information, purpose of motion, and specific relief orders sought. Let's go further down. Governing relationships. Also giving me to note the following, which affect the draft. Reasons for the separation, support and financial amounts. It's gone very in-depth. So it's giving me actual information from my matter. And then once you confirm, one, the purpose and motion and the order sought, and two, correct dates and the child's date of birth, it will prepare the affidavit in the required structure and style. That's exciting. So I'm able to then draft the first, so from the first draft to maybe even the fourth draft of the motion or the document that I'm preparing, I'm able to draft it within here. I'm able to ask relevant questions. Let's see if I could find a question that I could ask here. Just try it on your side as well and just prompt us if you've got any questions.
So I do have one question that's a good one. Essentially, one of the users was asking about the difference between the All tab and the MatterAI tab. So there is a new option at the very top. If you don't mind just going into MatterAI really quickly, Marissa, just want to reopen that window.
That one?
Yep.
I'm just going to right click and do it from here. It's just that it was giving me. Okay. Is this where you want me to be?
Yeah, so see at the very top where it says Matter and then it says All.
Oh,
so,
yes.
If you click on the All tab, that tab actually combines both LawY and MatterAI. So it uses your documents as a jump off point for some research related questions. So it combines the two. You don't have to use this. You can just use strictly Matter. But if you're looking to get both of that in there, you can click on the All tab.
Amazing.
And Marissa, do you mind just going back into that Word document behind you, please? With the prompts. Okay, so we have a couple of users who are mentioning that they can't see the prompts for MatterAI on the side here. So there should be a way to enable it. If you click on the the add-ins tab, yep, there is an option right there. So I know some people are having some issues locating it. Can we try that and just send me a message and let me know if you do see it or not? Oh, interesting. Some people don't even have the add-ins tab. Okay. Might want to investigate that one further with the support team. If you do want to use this, feel free to log a case if you don't have this tab. You can log one at support@leaplegalsoftware.ca, and we'll take a look and see where there is an issue with it not appearing on your Word.
Amazing. So we have 5 minutes left on the timer. I'm going to quickly show you some other functions within the word prompt and the precedence, and then leave at least two minutes for any additional questions. Does that sound fair, everybody? Vanessa?
Sorry, just muted myself. Yep, that's fine.
Yep. Okay, awesome. All right. So once we have some information, or it has brought through the information and you are good with it, you verified it, you're able to copy the response and paste it into the relevant document that you want. If you wanted to start this from fresh, you can use the reload option as well. And you've got different models to switch between for the prompt to use. Okay. Now, if you're copying this information, you're copying it into another document. You are able to also stay here and ask any other questions. When we are copying the information, I'm going to go back into forms and precedents. And if, for example, we want to use any other document, and for example, let's say we were sending a letter to client. And I've just chosen any document right now simply to demonstrate how you could use that information. It's opening up into the preferred document I chose. It's going to open up into Word. Okay. Once it loads up and you have your layout set up, we're really just copying and pasting. So from here, you could format your document as you wish. Now, if you prefer to use documents that you have already set up for this type of information, then you could use a precedent form. Go back into forms and precedents. You could use a precedent form that's already in your library, or you could go from scratch. You could start that from scratch by going into new document and just using a blank letterhead or a blank letter, for example, creating. And once that's completed, again, copy paste, and that gives you the information here. So it really is as simple as that to reuse that information. If you wanted to edit or modify the LEAP prompts, go into your library, and what you could do is right-click on the prompt that you want to reuse. You could edit it or duplicate and rename the precedent. So you could add your version numbers or name it appropriately and use that prompt going forward. You could essentially design your own prompt library here by duplicating what LEAP has already. They are quite versatile, and the LEAP content team does update this module regularly. So when you are in the Word documents, in any of the prompts, please use this provide feedback option. It will take you into a web page. I'll pull it across for us. Fill it out and give them the information that you're wanting them to add to the prompt or to look into. And they will contact you. They're quite speedy about that, and it is well appreciated. And I've come to the end of the tools and how you can access them, how you can use them, leverage of them. Give yourself 0 to 30 days to try and implement it at your office. Use it as a recurring tool for recurring revenue. Please reach back out to Vanessa and team or LEAP support if you have any further questions or insights. And we thank you for your time here today. I'm going to hand back over to Vanessa.